Anniversary dinners in my family had a rehearsed quality. Same restaurant, same private room, same sequence of speeches that blended gratitude with nostalgia. My parents treated ritual like architecture, something designed to signal stability, continuity, success. Everyone arrived carrying the expected emotional expressions: warmth, laughter, familiarity. I carried wine. It had become my unofficial function at gatherings. Logistics, coordination, small problem, solving tasks that made events run smoothly. No one ever assigned the role formally. It simply settled over time, the way certain responsibilities do when resistance feels socially inefficient. By dessert, the mood reached its predictable peak. Glasses refilled. Conversations loosened. My mother exchanged the particular smile she reserved for public moments of pride. Then my father stood. He didn't tap his glass. He didn't need to. Attention gathered automatically around him, the gravitational pull of authority long practiced and rarely questioned. "We have an announcement." Excitement moved across the room with visible ease. "We're going to Hawaii next week." Applause. Immediate. Enthusiastic. With the entire family. More applause. People leaned toward one another, already discussing logistics, outfits, itineraries. My siblings reacted with delight that felt genuine, unfiltered. Joy spreads quickly when inclusion is assumed. I waited for details, dates, flights, something. Nothing came. The conversations flowed forward without me, like a current I was standing beside rather than inside. Eventually, I asked the simplest possible question: what time is the departure? It wasn't confrontational. It wasn't loaded. Just practical. My father looked at me with mild confusion, as though I had misunderstood something obvious. "You don't know?" A small pause. Then casually: "Because you're not part of this trip." The room didn't react immediately. Cognition lags behind language. "You can stay behind," he continued, voice steady, reasonable. "Take care of the kids." There it was, not framed as punishment, not framed as rejection, framed as function. Utility disguised as inclusion. Something in my mind went strangely quiet. Not anger, not humiliation. Silence of a different kind. The psychological stillness that sometimes arrives when long-standing ambiguity collapses into clarity, because exclusion hurts most when it remains deniable. This wasn't deniable. Around the table, no one interrupted. No one objected. Faces shifted subtly: discomfort, avoidance, careful neutrality. The familiar choreography of social self-preservation. Silence as consensus. Years of small moments rearranged themselves in my memory with unsettling precision. Holidays where I handled logistics while others relaxed. Vacations discussed after decisions were made. Family jokes built on assumptions about my flexibility, my availability, my lack of competing importance. It had always been there, just never stated this cleanly. I nodded. Not submissively, absently. Then I said the only thing that felt structurally accurate: "I won't be available." The words landed with unexpected weight. My father frowned. "For what?" "For any of it." No raised voice, no tremor, just statement: "I've already made plans." Confusion rippled across the table. "What plans?" my mother asked. It was a fair question. Until that moment, I hadn't consciously formed them. But psychological breaking points often generate decisions faster than conscious reasoning can track. My own trip. The room shifted. Not dramatically, but perceptibly. Because families rely on invisible assumptions that certain members will absorb inconvenience, maintain stability, remain predictably accommodating. Assumptions rarely feel like power until they're withdrawn. "You're being difficult," my father said, calm, measured. The language of authority encountering unexpected resistance. "No," I replied, equally calm. "I'm being absent." The distinction mattered. There was no argument after that. Arguments require shared premises. Something fundamental had moved beyond negotiation. In the weeks that followed, practical consequences unfolded with quiet inevitability. Childcare arrangements destabilized. Travel logistics complicated. The smooth machinery of family coordination revealed its long-standing dependency on the member never formally acknowledged as essential. No one apologized, But tone changed, requests became careful, voices softer, not warmth, recalibration, which, in families, often passes for growth. I took my trip. Nothing extravagant, nothing symbolic. Just distance chosen rather than assigned. And somewhere between airports and unfamiliar hotel rooms, I experienced something unexpectedly unfamiliar. The absence of role, no utility, no silent expectations, just self. When I returned, the family dynamic hadn't transformed dramatically. People rarely rewrite relational structures overnight. But something quieter had settled into place. I was no longer assumed. No longer default. Presence had become conditional, not on their acceptance, but on my willingness. It wasn't victory. It wasn't reconciliation. Something less cinematic, more durable. The slow, irreversible shift that occurs when a person stops negotiating for inclusion, and instead reorganizes their life around the simple possibility of existing without it.